Good afternoon all. Yesterday lecture we have learned with the symbiotic relationship. Okay. Yesterday we have learned with the symbiotic relationship of the fungi. You know that the fungi, if it is associated, if it is associated with the algae, that is known as lichen, and the fungi, if it is associated with the root of the plant, fine, that is known as mycorrhizae. So you know that both the side beneficial relationship, that is known as symbiotic relationship. Fine. So now let's continue with that. Reproduction. Basically, you know that the reproduction here takes place by vegetative means. So you remember that vegetative reproduction means asexual type. Please remember that in plant we can't use that word asexual reproduction in plant. We can't use that. Instead of the asexual reproduction in plant, we use that word vegetative. Fine, vegetative propagation, like that. So here, the fungi asexually reproduce by fragmentation, fission, and budding, but especially external budding. Fine. As you know that fragmentation in that the body is divided into so many parts. So that fragmented part of the fungi can reproduce the remaining part. That is known as fragmentation. And fission. Fission means cell division. Fine. Fission and fusion. Please, dear all students, you remember that properly. Fission, that is division, and fusion, that is joining together. So as you know that the male gamete and female gamete both are united together. This procedure is known as fusion, and due to the fusion, fine, zygote synthesis, as you know. So here, you know that fission in that two types, binary fission and multiple fission. Majority in the fungi, binary fission there, but multiple fission is not that much common. So binary fission, you know that one cell divided into two, and multiple fission, one to many cells. So fission, it is divided into two parts, binary fission and multiple fission. Binary fission is 1 into 2. And multiple fission means 1 to many. And budding. Budding means bud formation. As you know, that outside of the body, here I have written that external budding. So as you know that in the fungi, just for example, we say that yeast. Suppose this is the yeast. And outside of the body, bud formation occurs. Fine. So, due to cell division, the bud is formed just outside of the fungi body or yeast body. Fine. And then this bud is detached from the parental body and live its individual life. Similarly, if you remember that in Hydra, external budding pad. So in Hydra, just on the side of the body, due to the cell division, the small node-like structure is generated, and this is known as a bud on outside of the body. Now gradually what happened? Gradually the more and more number of cells are added there, and this bud is now generated into the baby hydra. So this baby hydra can detach from the parental body and live its individual life. Similar to that, here budding occurs. So reproduction in fungi can take place by vegetative means known as fragmentation, fission and budding. Asexual reproduction is by spores. So here now I want to tell you that about the sporulation. Sporulation is nothing but spore formation. Fine. As you know that spores are formed and these spores are detached from the parental body, fine, and from the new fungi. So here these spores are formed. Here different types of these spores are there. Conidia. Conidia also known as non-motile spores. Fine. Generally, if the spores have flagella, cilia like that structure. So, if the spores consist flagella, so this is known as motile spore. But this conidia has no any type of the cilia or flagella like structure. Or sporing geospores. Present in the sporangium, that is known as fruiting body. Just here, some part of the fungi produce the fruiting bodies, and that is known as sporangium. So sporangiosperms, so these are present in the particular fruiting bodies, and zoospores. Female gamete-like structure. And here zoospores in that two gametes are there, fine, but here asexual reproduction there, but here we remember that male gamete and female gamete, fine. Zoospore is nothing but female gamete inside that male gamete enters. And sexual reproduction by oospores, ascospores and basilospores. So here, afterwards, we will learn that classes of the different fungi. So, the fungi consists female gamete. Fungi consists female gamete, that is known as oospores, and you learn that ascomycetes, basidiomycetes in that. According to the different structure, ascospores, basilospores are there. Fine. The various spores are produced in the distinct structure known as fruiting bodies. The sexual cycle involves. Here, please everybody remember First of all, plasmogamy. First of all, plasmogamy. So here, in the plasmogamy, the protoplasm is fused. So, you will learn this in the 8th chapter. Protoplasm is nothing but the cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. Fine. So, the wall fluid portion inside the cell, it is known as protoplasm. So, cell organelles inside that matrix there, we can't consider that. But the fluid portion present in the cell known as cytoplasm and the fluid portion present in the nucleus is known as nucleoplasm. So, initially what happened in the sexual reproduction, when the male and female gamete are united together, at that time both the cells protoplasm are fused together. It is known as plasmogamy. Gamy means fusion, and then followed by karyogamy. I have told you earlier that karyogoid is related to the nucleus or the chromosome or the DNA like that. So initially both the male and female gamete in that protoplasm are fused together. So after that nucleuses are fused together. That is known as karyogamy. So now at the end of the plasmogamy and karyogamy, now here what happened? That the fluid portion become double. The fluid portion become double and the nucleus become double. Fine. So here the fluid and nucleus both are become double. So now the third. At last, finally, meiosis occurs. So you know that meiosis is nothing but reductional division. Now, see, all of you, if you know, there is a vast difference between fertilization and zygote formation. Fine. Entry of the male gamete into female gamete, that is known as fertilization procedure. The male gamete is entered inside the female gamete. See, in human being, just surrounding to the ovum, so many number of sperms are there. Out of this, all these sperms, only one sperm is able to enter inside the ovum. So entry of the sperm inside the ovum, that procedure is known as fertilization. But fusion of the nucleus of the male and female gamete, that is known as zygote formation. Meiosis is known as reductional division by, here the significance role of the meiosis is that the gametes are generated. The male and female gametes are generated consist half number of the chromosomes than the parental cell. For example, we say that in human being, the sperms consist 23 chromosomes. Please remember that sperms consist 23 chromosomes, whereas male partner consists 46 chromosomes there. Female consists 23 chromosomes in ovum. 46 chromosomes are there in female. Fine. So here, male and female gamete are united together after karyotemy. Reductional division occurs meiosis, and at the end of the meiosis, fine, the many number of the fungi are developed, and these all are totally variated because here variation is seen there. So first is fusion of protoplasm between the two motile or non-motile gamete. Please remember that if both the fungi consist non-motile, see, one non-motile and one motile cannot fuse together. Fine. So if both are motile or both are non-motile, we say like that. So fusion of the protoplasm between the two motile or non-motile gametes called as plasmogamy. Fusion of two nuclei called as karyotemy. Meiosis in the zygote resulting in the haploid spores. Fine. So here zygote is diploid, 2n, and after division, after meiosis, the zygotes produce the haploid spores. When the fungus reproduces sexually, two haploid hyphae, as you know, that haploid gamete that is N, so we say that here male gamete and fuse with the female gamete N, fine, and here the fusion of the male and female gamete forms zygote. Zygote is nothing but we say that fertilized ovum. Fine. Two haploid hyphae of compatible mating type come together and fuse. In some fungi, the fusion of the two haploid cells immediately results in the diploid cell. However, in another fungi, remember that in the another fungi, Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes, intervening dikaryotic stage is there. So dikaryotic stage means Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes in that here the zygote is dikaryotic. Dikaryotic means cell is one only. Cell is one but nucleus are two. So can we say like that paramecium is also dikaryotic? Fine. Yes, we say like that. Paramecium is unicellular, as well as it consists two nucleus. So in zygote, the nucleus is intervening. Intervening means duplicated. In the dikaryotic stage, N plus N, that is two nuclei per cell occurs. Such condition is known as dikaryon, and the phase of this is known as dikaryotic they become diploid. The fungi forms the fruiting bodies in which reductional division occurs. That's why I have written here. The meiosis is also known as reductional division. So generally the fungi in that haploid body is there. Haploid body produces the haploid gametes by mitotic division. But zygote is different. So zygote forms the spores. Spores are now undergoes meiotic division and produce the haploid fungi. In this way, division occurs in the fungi. So the fungi form fruiting bodies in which reduction division occurs, leading to formation of the haploid spores. The morphology of the mycelium. Mycelium means you know that the network-like structure known as hyphae. The mode of spore formation and the fruiting body forms the basis of division of the kingdom into various classes. So this is about the sexual and asexual reproduction in the fungi, and the classes of the fungi we will take it in the next lecture.